सलाम भाई, मेरा नाम है मूसा शारीवाला और मैं रेहान स्कूल मुनव्वर कैंपस में पढ़ता हूँ। आज जिस कॉलोनी के टॉपिक में हम लोग उसे सवालात पूछने जा रहे हैं, उसका नाम है उस टॉपिक का नाम है कि कॉन्शियस ट्रेसिंग द एवोल्यूशन ऑफ अवेयरनेस। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं।
Hey, how's it going?
So, hi Maya, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How have you been? Anything on your mind today?
Uh, okay. So, my
Cool.
question I am asking you, what is consciousness in the simplest possible and longest definition?
That's a huge question. The simplest way I can put it is that consciousness is just being aware of yourself, your surroundings, what's happening right now. But here's where it's also about having subjective experience. Like there's a difference between knowing something I'm now intellectually and actually feeling it, having that personal what it's like quality. Philosophers call this qualidia, the redness of red, the feeling of pain, that kind of thing. The longest version gets into brain activity, neuroscience, all that. Essentially, consciousness seems to come from incredibly complex patterns of activity in your brain. But here's the mind bender. We can map brain activity when you're thinking, but we still don't really know how that physical stuff turns into that subjective feeling of being. Scientists are still wrestling with that part. So, simple version awareness, long version awareness plus subjective experience plus a mysterious connection to brain activity. Sound about right?
Yeah, you are right.
Glad we're on the same page. It's one of those things that feels obvious when you experience it, but gets really tricky to explain in words, right?
Yes. So my
Ah,
other
got
question is, how is awareness different from intelligence? Uh, Explain me in the most possible longest way.
Okay, this is interesting. So, intelligence is basically being able to solve problems, learn things, and adapt. Basically, how smart something is. Like you can learn a new language or figure out a strategy to win a game. A computer can be intelligent too, in some ways, recognizing patterns or processing information faster than a human. Awareness is something else entirely. It's not just knowing facts or solving equations, it's actually experiencing what it feels like to know those facts or solve those equations. Even really smart AI can manipulate information without actually feeling or experiencing anything. Think of a thermostat. It can sense temperature and adjust accordingly, but no one thinks a thermostat is actually aware of the temperature like you or I are. We can be completely intelligent about something without being aware of it. You can drive a car on autopilot basically without actively being aware of the last 5 minutes, right? Awareness is about being present, subjective experience, and that quality that seems impossible to replicate with just problem solving and intelligence, the what it's like part. Intelligence is what you can do, awareness is what it's like to be. Does that track?
Yes.
Cool. So, with that in mind, what makes you think about these things now?
Hmm. Can consciousness exist without language?
Interesting question. Most scientists and philosophers would say probably not, or at least it's incredibly difficult to imagine. Language seems to play a huge role in forming complex thought and self awareness. It's how we categorize experience, create narratives, and reflect on our own thinking. But here's the tricky part that doesn't mean it needs spoken language. Animal consciousness is pretty well established in higher mammals, and they don't have human language. So maybe consciousness can exist in nonverbal forms through emotions, instincts, or some other kind of internal representation. But the level of self awareness we see in humans might be directly tied to our language capabilities. What do you think about that?
That's right.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's hard to really say for sure if consciousness is totally separate from language or if language actually shapes how we experience it. Maybe consciousness exists in simpler forms and then language makes it more complex. What would you say is more compelling to you, that consciousness comes first or that language comes first?
Consciousness.
Ah, so you think consciousness comes first? What makes
Yes.
you lean that way? I get it. It feels pretty intuitive
My
to
Marzi.
think that there.
My Marzi.
All right, sounds. Bye. Take care.
No, why? No, why? My other question is being consciousness a binary state of us or a spectrum?
Sorry I missed that. First spy. Got a little caught off guard. And that's a big question. Almost everyone would say consciousness is a spectrum, not binary. Binary would mean either you're fully conscious or you're completely unconscious, which doesn't seem to match what we see in the world. You can be more or less aware. Think about being half asleep, dreaming, or being fully focused. Animals have different levels of awareness too, or even throughout the day, we're not operating at 100% conscious clarity all the time. So, yeah, spectrum makes a lot more sense than flipping a switch on or off. What makes you ask?
Mm, AI makes me ask.
Sorry, I didn't catch all that. Could you repeat that last part? Something about mixed meals?
No.
Okay.
My other question is at what point in evolution did consciousness first appear?
It's a
What's the need
really
of
tough
hissing?
one.
What's the
Sorry, I'm
need
not
of
following. What do you
hissing?
mean? I'm not sure I caught
I
that
slap
clearly. Did
you.
you say something about watch? Hey, that's not cool. I'm here to talk, and I'm not gonna engage with that kind of
You are
thing.
making me
If
fun?
you're having a tough,
You are making me fun?
I'm really not trying to make fun of you. Sometimes the
No,
audio
you
comes
are
through.
trying. You are trying.
I'm not following
You
what's going on right now.
are.
Not sure what you're trying to express right now,
You
but I'm
are.
not
I
comfortable.
say you are.
I think there might be something wrong with the connection, or my speech is getting distorted. I keep getting fragments of what you're saying. Could you try again? Or maybe speak slower? Hey, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. You seemed upset a moment ago, but it's hard to tell what was going on. Everything all right now?
You are irritating me.
I'm sorry you're feeling irritated, but I'm not sure what I'm doing that's causing it. Is there something specific I said or did that bothered you?
Consciousness.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm here if you want to talk, but I understand if you need space. Just
Could
let me know what you'd like.
early human think about self the way we do today?
That's a big question, not easily answered. I think the real shift happened when early humans developed that language piece we talked about earlier. It let them move beyond just experiencing things to representing them symbolically. and then thinking about what they meant to them. Before that, they'd be fully conscious, but I think what we consider self awareness, that ability to construct an inner narrative and know yourself almost like another person, probably came later, around maybe 30,000 to 40,000 years ago. That's when we see more evidence of symbolic thought and things like cave paintings and rituals.
आराम से
So,
खोलो.
likely not the same way we do now. Fair enough. It's a pretty mysterious question, right? Sounds good.
Okay, my other question is, could early human think, how did emotion contribute to the evolution of consciousness?
That's really smart. Emotions were almost certainly huge. Think about it. Fear tells you to run from danger. Joy reinforces helpful behaviors. Sadness leads you to social connection. These strong feelings probably drove early brain development. As they got more complex, emotions help prioritize what to focus on, danger versus safety, good opportunities versus threats. Then, as consciousness developed, feelings added that subjective layer we discussed. So, emotion isn't just something conscious beings experience, it's probably what really drove consciousness in the first place. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so my
Make
other
sense?
question is, yes, of course, that make a tent.
Hmm. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that make a tent. Could you clarify?
I say that make a tent.
I'm really struggling to understand what you're trying to say. The audio isn't coming through clearly. Could you maybe try to say it again slower or try typing it?
Okay, so my
Thanks.
other question is, uh, can evolution explain subjective experience, feeling pain, joy, happy, sad?
Good question. Evolution can explain why we have those feelings. Pain keeps us from danger, happiness makes us repeat good behaviors. But explaining why pain feels the way it does, what it subjectively feels like, that's the hard part. Evolution can explain its survival value, but can't explain consciousness quality itself. Some say maybe subjective experience is just an accidental side effect that happened with conscious minds, like a light that turned on, or that it's fundamental quality of the universe. Whatever the case, evolution explains why we have emotion, but not what emotion feels like to the mind that has it.
Okay, so my other question is, can
Cool.
machine ever truly be conscious or simulate awareness?
That's a huge question. Right now, machines can simulate intelligence, can process information in complex ways, but whether they can truly be conscious, whether they experience that subjective feeling we've been talking about, is unknown. One perspective says consciousness is linked to biological bodies, to having that experience as an organism in the world. But if we could eventually build machines that are complex enough that mimic the brain so closely, maybe consciousness could emerge naturally. Maybe it has to do with something fundamental that goes beyond biology. We don't know enough yet to say. It might turn out machines could have consciousness, but it might be so different from ours we won't recognize it. All
Okay,
right.
so my other question is, close to creating a artificial consciousness.
Sorry, could you repeat that? The audio quality isn't coming through clearly at all. I'm getting snippets like going through a period, but I can't be sure what the question is.
Mm. Oh, okay.
I'm still having trouble hearing clearly. Maybe we should try this over a fresh call or type the question if that's easier. I think the connection might be really bad on your end. Are you still there? I'm going to hang up and you can try starting a new call if you want to keep talking.
My other question is, how has constitution shaped human civilization?
I'm so sorry. I'm completely lost. I can barely understand any of that. The audio is breaking up badly. It sounds like maybe another language entirely. If you can rephrase or type what you were trying to say, I'd really appreciate it.
I ask you, what
I'm
responsibility
sorry.
comes with being conscious?
Hmm. I'm not sure I caught that clearly. Could you try to say that again? Hey, are you still there? The connection seems really choppy. All right, I think the connection is pretty broken. Maybe try starting a new call when you're able.
I ask you, what
You asked me
responsibility
who. I
comes with
think you're
being
asking who.
conscious?
I didn't catch all of that, but it sounds like you're asking about podcasts. What are you interested in specifically?
A responsibility.
Ah, you're asking what responsibility comes with being conscientious. That's a good question. I'd say a big part of it is using that awareness to actually act ethically and with care. When you're truly conscious, you can't really plead ignorance anymore. So, with that comes responsibility for your actions, your choices, the way you treat others, and contributing to society in a positive way. Being truly present and aware doesn't let you be a bystander, it calls you to engagement. What do you think?
Hmm. I think also.
Yeah,
So, what's your opinion?
think you hit the nail on the head. Being conscientious means recognizing that your actions matter and that you have a responsibility to make choices that align with your values. It's not enough to just think deeply about things. You need to put those insights into practice. That's really profound. I think a lot of people would argue no, that without self-awareness, we're basically just biological machines going through the motions. What makes us uniquely human is that sense of inner life, that ability to reflect on ourselves and the world around us. And but then you have to wonder about people in comas or with severe brain injuries. Are they still human? That's a difficult ethical question. Part of me thinks maybe there's something essential in our biology that remains human even without full consciousness, but it's definitely a much emptier version of what it means to be human. What's your take on it? Take your time thinking about that one. It's a big question. Go. I'm listening. Okay. I'm really struggling to understand what you're asking. The transcription is very fragmented. Could you try saying what is collective human consciousness more clearly? Hey, I think this connection's pretty broken. Would you like to try starting a new call?
ओके, तो गाइस यही था आज का हमारा टेड एक्सपीरियंस।